In the Middle Ages, the birth of an unwanted child wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was a public scandal. A woman who became pregnant outside of marriage was instantly cast out regardless of the circumstances. Society saw her not as a victim, but as a warning, a symbol of immorality and disgrace. She often lost everything: her job, her home, her dignity. And the child? Officially, they didn't exist. Born illegitimate, they had no name, no inheritance rights, no future. In the eyes of the law, they were shadows, living ghosts. For women of noble birth, there were sometimes options. The child could be quietly sent away to be raised by a wet nurse or fostered in a distant household. In 15th century England, wealthy families even paid rural women to nurse these children in secret. Some infants were sent abroad, to convents in Flanders, far from scandal. But for peasants, there were no such choices. One extra mouth could mean starvation for the whole family. In German and Swiss towns, official records mention fines for those who tried to shelter illegitimate children. One of the more merciful options was to leave the baby at a church or monastery door, in the hope that someone would find them. In Italy and France, by the 13th century, cities began installing foundling wheels, wooden rotating boxes built into walls where an infant could be left anonymously and safely without anyone seeing the mother's face. But even this didn't guarantee survival. Without warmth, food, or care, many newborns died within hours. Yet legally, the mother wasn't considered guilty. As long as the child had been alive when she left them, the death was seen as an act of nature. History has preserved even darker stories. A 1327 manuscript from The Hague describes a woman who, pregnant by her own uncle, drowned the child at birth to hide the incest. Sir John Waymark, a former clergyman in England, pushed his mistress's baby into the sea after she gave birth, and the church covered it up. In 15th century Nuremberg, 3 women were convicted for hiding newborns in baskets of straw and letting them die. In 16th century Scotland, infanticide was punished by burning. The law read, "A woman who hides both the birth and the body is presumed to have killed the child." There was no real system for adoption in medieval Europe. While the church preached compassion, it could only care for a fraction of the abandoned. In 1445, Florence opened one of the first official foundling hospitals, Ospedale degli Innocenti, funded by the city's Silk Guild. On its facade, sculptures of swaddled infants served as quiet monuments to the many lost lives. But even in such places, mortality rates were horrifying, as high as 70 to 80%. In 18th century Paris, only 1 in 10 abandoned infants survived to adulthood. Some rulers tried to reform the system. In 13th century Spain, King Alfonso X decreed that if a man acknowledged his illegitimate child in writing, the child could inherit. But such cases were rare. In the Holy Roman Empire, the law was even harsher, labeling such children filius nullius, the child of no one. The Middle Ages were a time when a person's fate could be sealed the moment they were born. And for the unwanted, the unloved, the unnamed, the world gave them little more than silence. Today, in some countries, baby boxes exist. Secure places where mothers can leave a newborn anonymously and safely. They're a modern answer to an ancient problem, a second chance for those who, for centuries, never had one.